All right, here's the deal. Why am I close? Let's get real close, chat. Okay, here's the deal. All right. Okay, here's the thing. I have no problem with 222. In fact, I like 222. Hey, what's up, Serpent? How you doing? Okay. All right. Here's the deal. 222 is great if you're a Masters player. Okay? If you're below Masters, here's Overwatch right now. All right, let me use props. Okay, let me use props to illustrate my point. Okay, let's see here. What can we use? What can we use? All right, this dry eraser is Reinhardt, okay? This Legolas is Sigma. And this K-State basketball is me. Okay? As McCree. Here's how it goes. Here's a full fan the hammer. All right? Hey! You can't play the video game. Okay? It's literally... The ball should be Hammond. You're right. It applies, though, honestly. But it can't because there's 2 tanks. 3 tanks. Okay? Look. It's all barriers. Now, I don't know if it's like that in higher ranks, but there are 2 fundamental problems. 1, 2-2-2 requires you to play as a team. You know the one thing you can't do at low ranks, and by low ranks, I mean anything under Masters. You know what you don't do? Play as a team. Maybe 2 out of 10 games. Or 1 out of 5 even. You play as a team. Okay? And then everyone else, you pick a barrier, it's fun, okay? It's fun. If you're a barrier, it's a barrier. It's barrier meta. Okay? And here's the thing. You guys, I see what you say in a chat. You just have to get used to playing as a team now. It's always been the game. Just play as a barrier. You'll win. All right? I get it. That's not fun for me. It's not fun to shoot a barrier. It's not fun to shoot a barrier. It's not fun to hold a barrier. It's boring. The game's boring. You just shoot 1,000 HP. I didn't place low. I actually placed higher as a tank than I've ever had. My highest SR ever I placed yesterday. Just play team deathmatch games only, like Call of Duty and Destiny. Yeah. That's kind of what I guess that's kind of what I want. What's my SR as a tank? It was like it was almost 2,800. I'm doing good, Maltese. Here's the thing with Overwatch. Overwatch is better with 2-2-2, but it's less fun for me. And it's not because of 2-2-2, it's because they realize that if you just have barriers so the team can't do anything, then you win. It's a serious problem. Like, I'm sitting in Hanamura yesterday. In a game as a healer. I have an Orisa and I think a Roadhog, and then we have a McCree and a Genji against a Sigma and an Orisa. And my Genji and my McCree literally run down the middle, pop, 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 they die. Because they can't get through the barrier. I'm a Moira. What am I supposed to do? I can't do anything. So I'm sitting here with 2 minutes left to attack on point B, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna lose. Unless these 2 dudes change, I'm going to lose. And guess what, chat? I lost. Why would I want to watch that? Why would I want to play that? It's the worst. It's the worst. Like I just like, why would I want to play a game where if in the first 3 minutes, I know that I'm going to lose and I have to spend the next 5 minutes watching me lose? Why would I do that? And then I know for that 3 minutes, no matter how hard I try, I'm going to lose and I'm going to be penalized for my performance because I couldn't do anything. It sucks. That sucks. There are a lot of Mays with ice walls, Brigidas with shields, and I don't know, dudes, like, it's a lot of Sigma Orisa, a lot of Reinhardt Orisa, there's a lot of Mays, there's a lot of Symmetras. It's a lot of camping, it's a lot of barriers, it's a lot of bunker. And I hate it, dude, because it's just not fun. And I think the last time I didn't have fun playing Overwatch was the Brigida season, when it was the same thing, Season 10. I gave it a name, Barriers and Boops. I don't know how many of you were here during Season 10. What was that, March of last year? Something like that? I don't know how many of you were here for that. But Overwatch was not fun. In fact, that's when we got back into Destiny 2 because Overwatch sucked. And then they changed the meta, and it became fun again. And I don't think I want to go through it. I think I'm going to wait until barriers stop being the way everyone plays, until there's no more Maze, Symmetra, Orisa, Sigma / Reinhardt in every single game. So I have to play Junkrat. I think I'm just going to wait, and then I'll play Overwatch when it's fun for me again. Because I don't think it has anything to do with 222. 222 does hurt in the fact that I can't pick in a game where there is a McCree Genji who refused to swap. I could at least go and do Roadhog, or I could at least go and do Junkrat. I can't do that anymore, and 222 is the problem. But 222 solves way more things than it hurts. I have no problem with 222. 222 is better, okay? The problem is the meta. And that meta now is even... 222 just made that meta stronger, and I don't like the meta. And so I think because of that, I'm kind of done with Overwatch right now. Maybe I'll do Arcade. You know, I'll go the Rachel route. If I'm not having fun playing regular Overwatch, but I still want to be a cowboy, I'll just play Arcade. I'm just not having fun with it right now. That's the honest truth. Yesterday was not fun. It was more frustrating than fun. And why do I sit here and raise my blood pressure when I'm already this angry just existing? So I think that's where I'm at. Okay, let me catch up on chat, okay? Because everyone's saying hi to me. Vaxis is hitting me with 45 carats. Drogan, hello. Good morning. How are you, dude? Good to see you. Shadow, wait, Barrier Meta is back in Overwatch? Yes! And it's worse than ever! Uninstall! What did Vaxis say here? I mean, you should experiment a bit more before you say something like that. Yes, I said that a lot yesterday. That it's probably early. And to be honest, yesterday I said this a lot. Okay? Part of the thing that I really hated yesterday was that I felt I was out of place skill tier-wise with other people on my team. I placed gold as a healer, which, for lols, okay, I said on stream, I fully expect what I think I'm best at to be my lowest placement. And that's exactly what happened. So thank you, Papa Jeff. You made my dreams come true. I placed gold as healer. I placed high plat as tank, mid plat as DPS, low gold as healer. And by far my best performance, in my opinion, the games where I made the most impact was healer, then tank, then DPS. I could have not played DPS. I feel like the games would have ended the exact same way if it was a 5v6 for my team, to be honest. Okay? I felt like I did nothing as a DPS because all I did was shoot barriers. But my biggest problem was when I played healer, the reason I believe I was ranked so low is because we did the least. Like, people say that your rank is based upon the performance as an average against other people who played that role. So, my Moira, I performed at a gold level in all my games, but here's the problem with that, in my opinion, because we don't really know. It's a mystery. We don't really know. It's a mystery how the SR works, how they rank you, and they do placements. It's a mystery. If I'm on Nimbani, and my team gets steamrolled on defense, and the other team comes out of the airport, steamrolls to Doomfist's cart, makes the cart go around 14 corners to the museum, and they do it in 2 minutes flat, I only get a chance to do 600,000 healing at most because the game lasted 2 minutes. On mine, we get the 4 minutes, but we never capture point A. In a game of quick play that feels quote-unquote even, those games should last very long. They should be 6 to 10 minute games, and we end up playing a 4 to 5 minute game because we get steamrolled. So now, my question is, if I only have 2,000 healing total, but a lesser healer would have only healed 5,000, but at that level they go, Nabani, he only healed 2,000, that's gold. I feel like that's not fair to me as a healer. Like Chris brought up this point yesterday. What if yesterday actually yesterday, Rialto, enemy Anna hits a huge bio grenade on our team. Entire team bio grenaded. We were doing an amazing hold right there after the bridge on Rialto. That bio grenade, incredible. Got the whole team. Then our Batiste threw out an immortality shield, saved the entire team. Because I couldn't heal, Batiste couldn't heal, immortality field saved us. Now the question is, does that Anna get bonus points for that super galaxy brain bio grenade? And does our Batiste get bonus points for that super galaxy brain immortality field? Probably not. That thing right there is the same as every Batiste in bronze throwing an immortality field to protect people from dragons. But they're not the same in a game sense perspective. Someone who has that much game sense shouldn't be in gold. Period. Unless it was an accident, which I guess it could have been. But do they get credit for that? I don't know. If they're playing with me, that was an above gold move. I felt like I was playing at or above my level more often than any other game I ever played yesterday as a healer, and I scored an entire rank 600 SR under tank as a healer. Huh? And Menace says that that's fair. It's a team game. Yeah, it is a team game. But now, Brian said it's going to be the most toxic environment ever, and he's right. Because now I can just literally point and be like, we lost because Genji and McCree wouldn't switch. We lost. It's their fault. And that is toxic, okay? That's some my 10-year-old son Aaron toxicity, okay? Right there. That's their fault. And it's their fault. But why? Who am I to get on comms and be like, please switch, when they're probably just having fun? Video games are supposed to be fun. It's not fair for me to say change off McCree because he probably is having a good time. Just because winning isn't everything to everybody. I just don't know, dude. And it's rough because when my team sucks, but they're just having fun, but then I'm penalized, that's not fun for me, regardless of how good I do. If I'm doing an amazing job as a healer, which I believe I was, I had more medals. I had 2 games yesterday during my playthroughs. Go watch the VOD. 2 games yesterday as a healer where I had 4 gold medals. And then I had 1 game where I had 4 gold medals and then silver damage. And I had more performance medals, which I'm not even sure those mean anything. I had more performance medals yesterday as a healer than I did in any other game. I had more games where I had no medals as a DPS than I've ever had because I couldn't do damage because I'm shooting barriers the whole game. And then I play 600 SR lower as a healer? But that's because our games went terrible. We never captured more than 20% of a point because my damage sucked or my tanks fed. And then I'm penalized for that. And I look at it like, I kind of want to look at it like this perspective as well. If I was going to climb, so let's say we throw all those problems out the window, and I want to get out of gold, okay? And some of you who play Overwatch or have played a healer at Overwatch, you'll relate to this. I don't think I'm out of the realm of craziness here, okay? If I wanted to climb in roll queue 222 and I selected healer, there is nothing I can do if my damage don't damage and my tanks just feed, either at the same time or both. There's nothing I can do as a healer to carry my team. The best I can do is help my damage stay alive longer so they can do more damage, or help my tanks stay alive longer so they can so they can create space and prevent damage. That's the only thing I can do as a healer. That's my best possible scenario. But if they don't do their roles, if the 60% of the people on the team don't do their roles, my role, no matter how good I do it, doesn't matter. There's no way I can climb as a healer. And so if I look at that, I go, well, of course I'm going to place lowest, because I make the least amount of impact from an overall game standpoint. Even though as a healer, I feel like I'm making I'm doing my job to the best of my abilities as a healer in Overwatch. But at a team standpoint, I'm not really doing anything. And it's just I don't know, that's just not fun for me to know immediately based on a team composition that we're going to lose, and now I have to sit here for 5 minutes and lose and then be punished afterwards regardless of how good I'm doing. That's the thing, okay? All right. Let me see here. Part of the problem is that old characters are not designed around 222. They have been made, think, with free pick combos. That's true. I agree. One Genji was bad if he can't get around a barrier, and meta is 222, so yeah, experiment is needed. With this 222, people are still looking for what comps to counter, but yeah, Overwatch characters were not designed thinking 222, and that raises some problems. I agree. And you know, the thing is that you're right, Vaxis. A good Genji can get around barriers, but not everyone's good. And again, if you like playing Genji and you just want to have fun, I don't really feel like it's my place to be like, switch forehead, we're going to lose because you're Genji. Because that Genji probably watched Overwatch League, and probably saw Agilities kill 6 Orisas in a row, and he's like, I know it's possible, I just got to get good, and why am I telling him he can't do that? That's not really my place, to be honest. That's how I feel. Blair said, this is where I feel like my stand makes the most sense to play quick play for fun, but you're willing to take the game seriously. If you're going to cooperate, you play competitive. Yes, but not everyone shares that opinion. Some people like playing competitive. They just like it better. Personally, I like competitive better. My least favorite part of competitive is that I get too competitive, but I actually like the game modes better. I do. They're more fun. But not everyone takes them as seriously as other people. Not everyone's in the Overwatch League when they play competitive. Some people just, I don't know, put in a game disc and play it for fun. Win or lose, they're having fun. Some people could do that. It's crazy. But anyway, I think that's where I'm at with Overwatch right now. So I'm not totally sure if I'm going to play Overwatch. I think, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm going to play, I think I would play quick play. Because I like 222 overall, but I think I'm only going to play it if I'm in a stack. Like, I think I'm only going to play it if I know I'm playing with people I like, people who aren't going to get mad if I'm like, dude, you know, maybe we should try out Junkrat. Like, it's just, I think 222 made the game better for skilled players and people who understand the game mechanics. I think it made Overwatch better for those people. I think it made the game worse for people who play the game for fun and people who aren't super great at it. And that's fine. Not all games are for everybody, but it does kind of suck, to be honest, that people who liked the game yesterday may not like the game today. That does kind of suck for those people. I don't know. Like, well, Quick Play doesn't have 222 right now, but it will September 1st. So Quick Play right now is unchanged. It's the same as Quick Play. It has always been, going back to Season 1. But when the beta competitive season is over, Roll Q will roll out to the entirety of the game. When you hit play and you click Quick Play or competitive, it's going to be 222 Roll Q. Classic Quick Play, which is the Quick Play we know now, will be in the arcade. So if you want to play Overwatch as it was for the last 3 years, it's in the arcade starting September 1st. But I don't know, dudes. It's just, I think I could play Overwatch Quick Play and I'd still have fun. Okay, I honestly think that. But competitive, until that meta changes, dude, unless I just play damage, I feel like I'm not going to have fun. And even if I play damage, I still feel like I'm just shooting barriers a lot of the time, so that's not even fun. You know? I just, why shouldn't I play a game that I have more fun with? Because video games are supposed to be fun. And I get that, like, a lot of people want to watch me play Overwatch, so I'm still going to play Overwatch because I have 42 cents in my bank account. Okay? But, like, Overwatch is less fun right now than it was a month ago. And Apex is really fun right now. Even though that they want to bilk their customers for $7 loot boxes. Oh my god, dude. But anyway, so thank you for coming to my TED Talk, as Tattoo said, okay? Oh my god, dude. You were blaming the Dutch guy. I see where this is going. Look, those Dutch people with their fancy fashions and their mountain ranges and their legal weed and their red light districts, all right? There's what corrupting the world, okay? All right? How is shooting barriers any different than it was 2 months ago? Because 2 months ago, you could form a composition that was more proficient at taking down barriers. That's the difference. That's the difference, is that now that doesn't exist. And Rachel, I'm glad that you're having experiences where people on your team are working as a team. That is not happening for me. I played 15 games yesterday. That's not a lot. Okay, I understand. It could definitely get better later on down the road, okay? And I'm not done playing Overwatch. I'm still going to dip my toe into the water every once in a while and see how it is, okay? Because I do like the game. I just don't like this meta. But I like Overwatch. I really like it. And I think right now, the situation that it's in is just... maybe Vaxxus may be onto something. People just need to get used to it. People just need to get used to it. What's stopping you from doing that composition now? Well, 5 people I can't control is the major thing. That's the biggest thing. And then also the limits of roles. Like, sometimes having more than 2 DPS is necessary if you have super powerful or super good tanks. And Rachel, I did not have that experiment. Maybe that's the difference. I literally only had barrier games. Every single game had a Sigma, Reinhardt, or an Orisa, and it just swapped through that. And if I had your experience yesterday, Rachel, I think my speech today would be totally different. But in 15 games yesterday, every one of the enemies had 2 barriers every time. Every time. And I don't really think that 222 is the problem. I think barriers are the problem, and 222 just helped showcase that barriers are really OP right now. People were just tryharding when you came out, and that's who you played with. That's who I played against. I was tryharding. 6 people on the red team were tryharding. 5 people on my team were having fun, which is fine. I want to be clear. I don't have any problem with people having fun. That's okay. It just isn't for me. Write that down, chat. Having fun isn't for me, okay? I need people who are as competitive as me when we play competitive, period, okay? 6 characters with barriers, there's probably more than that. Sigma has a barrier, Orisa has a barrier, Reinhardt has a barrier, Winston has a barrier, Mei has a barrier, Diva has a barrier, Symmetra has a barrier. I could go through probably the entire list. There's lots of people with barriers or things that eat bullets or negate damage. Mei has a barrier. It's a giant wall. I played maybe 50, 60, 70 games, and I could say about a third of them were barriers, but the other ones were really interesting people just getting creative with the barriers. I just switched to Junkrat, and I would ask for a Bastion so we could get higher burst DPS, but they didn't want to play Bastion, so I'd ask for a Flanker, a Sombra, or a Tracer. But what if you were playing Moira, Blair? Brigitte has a barrier. It's the same purpose. I'm saying things that negate damage counts. It counts. I did say that before. The fact is, I will come after you. Okay? People who can negate damage in Overwatch. Baptiste, Brigitte, Diva, Mei, Orisa, Reinhardt, Sigma, Symmetra, Winston. Those are all people who have some type of damage negation ability. And those characters are super strong right now. I honestly think maybe part of the problem, honestly, maybe Overwatch right now is based too heavily around removing the power from people. I think maybe it's not barriers. Maybe that's the problem. If I was on Moria, I would swap to Lucio, disrupt the enemy. I would basically wall ride behind them and knock them away from their barriers. For me, that works most of the time. Yeah, except you have to count on 5 other people, once again, to take advantage of your galaxy brain plays. Which I don't know if we're playing the same video game, but that doesn't happen to me very often. No, you're right, Rachel. And again, I'm not complaining about people having fun or people not working as a team. I'm saying that it's harder for me to make an impact as a solo player than it was before. And because of that, it's less fun. Because I apparently have terrible RNG, and I only end up with people who want to play for themselves and not as a team. I would gladly play as a team. But when everyone else on the team is playing for themselves, I have to play for myself. Otherwise, that doesn't work. I can't play as a team of my own with people who are all playing for themselves. But if you look at the character list, Ana takes away people's abilities. Baptiste, Bastion. Bastion does not. Well, he kind of does because he can heal damage. But Ana takes away people's abilities, Bio Grenade. Baptiste takes away people's abilities, Immortality Field. Brigitte, she has a barrier. Diva has Defense Matrix. Doomfist generates his own shields. Lucio can generate shields for other people. It's just an ult, though. Okay? Mei, she can heal herself. She can create a wall. She's a tank. Changed my mind. Okay? Orisa, giant barrier, can take away people's boop ability. Reaper, self-healing. Kind of broke, to be honest. Reinhardt, now he got a new one. He can't be booped as far, and he has a giant barrier. Roadhog, heals himself, can boop people. Sigma, can boop people, can make a shield, and he absorbs people's damage. He has Roadhog, Diva, Orisa, Reinhardt, and Brigitte all in one character. That's the new guy, by the way. The Dutch are the problem. You heard that, Serpent. Soldier, he can heal himself. Not very that big of a deal. Sombra, the most broken character in the entire video game, in my opinion. Get rid of her. Honestly, hacks are stupid. I think I don't like hacking. Symmetra, just kidding. Sombra's fine. Get rid of her. Get rid of Symmetra. Get rid of her. Winston, big barrier. Wrecking Ball, big shield. Zarya, big shield. Zenyatta, he's fine too. But, you know, he could change the way the game works. So you want them to all be defenseless? I don't know what the complaint is. But I don't really know. I'm saying there's a lot of characters right now that negate the fun of other characters. There is no planet where McCree, who could simply damage real good, would ever be able to take on Sigma. It just doesn't exist. Reaper could do it because he has a passive ability to heal himself. So McCree, he's worthless now. And that's okay. That's the meta. I'm sure at some point we'll come back around. McCree will no longer be useless. That's a meta change. That's what I'm saying. Right now, the meta, not that fun. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Overwatch is bad. I'm saying that as the current meta, it's not that fun. That's all I'm saying. Sigma does a ton of damage. Sigma is insane. Like, the difference is, maybe this is part of the issue as well, okay? Here's another part of the issue. Sigma is a lot of fun to play because right now he's really good. But I would go out on a limb and say that Sigma is as broken as Brigitte is when she first came out. From my experiments. Now, don't capital D colon me in the chat. Like, I honestly think that. The fact that he can self-heal like Roadhog, he can absorb ults like Diva, he could project barriers like Orisa and Reinhardt, he has a self-regenerating shield like Symmetra, he could add his own shield, Overshield, to him like Hammond or Doomfist. He does a ton of damage. He's kind of broke. But to be honest, I've always been, people who've been here a long time, you know, I've always been under the impression that I'm fine with characters being overpowered. I think that over the months go along, people will learn to play around them. I would rather characters be overpowered than underpowered. And it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of boring. Can't McCree stun people out of ults with stun nade? That's a great point, Drogon. It's true. Stunning works, you're right. He also could take people out of the fun. Just because it's the meta doesn't mean that's the only way you can play the game successfully. At least it shouldn't be that way. Yeah. And Overwatch right now, I feel like if their other team, and again, I only played 15 games yesterday, okay? So it's a limited sample size, but how I feel, yesterday, those 15 games I played, the enemy team always had 2 barriers. If the enemy team didn't, we could play different comps. We could have fun. But if there's 2 barriers, there's nothing else you can do. If there's an Orisa, a Reinhardt, if there's an Orisa, a Sigma, or a Reinhardt, and then there's a Mei, that's a 3-tank team with multiple barriers, with a combined 2,000 HP, plus their barriers, combined 4,000 HP. What are you going to do? There's only so many ways you can counteract that, to be honest. The new meta is slow. We're used to just running and dying or popping off and killing a bunch. With 2-2-2, we are forced to slow everything down and get picks when possible. Correct. And it should have always been that way, to be honest, so it could be that way. I think people gave themselves license to not work as a team when half the team wasn't cooperating. Yes. 100%, Rachel. You guys are both absolutely right, and that's boring to me because I did play the game. My experience has been if I want to win games, if I want to pop off, I have to play for myself. Overwatch is the most fun when I play as a team. When we're all grouped up and we're doing awesome stuff as a team and the meta is working, it's huge. That is peak Overwatch for me. It's just 10% of my games are that way. Most of the games are Mercy's healing whoever she's in a group with. Moira is doing damage. McCree, Reaper, and Genji are just off doing whatever they want. Reinhardt's on the payload just waiting for his shield to go down and then him to go down. That's generally most of my games. I don't know what Voltron is, Menace, so I can't understand your analogy. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think again, I'm not saying that Overwatch is bad. I'm saying I don't enjoy the current meta. And I think 222 made the meta more visible to me, which makes it less fun. Like, there's just so many people with barriers. And I get that there are ways to play around it. Chat, I understand. There are ways to counter it. Those ways aren't fun for me. That's not the game that I was playing 2 months ago. And the game will change. It changes a lot. That's part of the fun. I didn't watch Power Rangers either, Menace. Good luck. The best way to work as a team is to be on comms and group up with people. Without those, it's hard to ensure teamwork. I think you're just in a bad spot with how you play. 222 is trying to force the necessity of teamwork. Yeah, I also agree. But I also don't think that games should require you to be on mic. There are plenty of people out there who don't like to be on mic. There are plenty of people. I think 50% of the population who aren't men shouldn't be forced to be on mic, to be honest. If they want to, great. But it's pretty toxic to be on mic, especially as a female. I can play Apex Legends without a mic and be nearly as successful as I am without it. Now, the best teams will always have communication. That's a rule of gaming. It's like that in every video game. Every video game, if you communicate, you do better. Every single one. But the game design should be based around non-verbal communication if possible. And if the game is like you're not having fun because you're not talking to your teammates, well, I'm not going to play your game. Sorry. Because to me, that's not a requirement. That's like saying the best teams are six stacks. Yes. When I played Destiny and I did raids, if I played with 6 people that I know, we did way better than when I played with 6 people I didn't know. When I was getting yelled at it by Germans, that was a way worse experience for me than when I played with Brian. Way worse. Actually, I think Brian joined me for one of those German raids, and he probably got yelled at in German. It's scary to get yelled at in German, chat. I should be able to play my video game and have fun with people without having to be yelled at in German. Junkrat, Bastion, Pharah, Soldier, Hanzo, Sombra, EMP, Pharah, Barrage, Riptire. That's the only thing I can think of that'll get through 4,000 HP. Junkrat can do it. Bastion can't do it. He'll get killed. Pharah can't do it. She'll get killed. Soldier doesn't have enough damage output. Hanzo can do it. Sombra, of course, she can do freaking everything. Riptire doesn't do enough damage to get through barriers. I mean, technically, I guess you could jump over it and do damage. Roadhog should be on your list. He can also do damage to barriers. Exactly, Rachel. Exactly. And that's part of the thing. Like, I think I said that as a throwaway yesterday towards the end of the stream. I did a long stream yesterday because I just wanted to get it over with, you know. But, they should have just gave Brigitte 200 more health. Like, what is the difference? Like, I guess maybe it comes down to this for me. D.Va used to have a defense matrix that lasts 6 seconds. So Soldier would pop his ult, and D.Va would just fly up to him and, nope, not today, Soldier. Not doing any damage today, Soldier. Not going to happen. And I don't understand what the difference is between that and where we are now in the game, where I just read off a list of people who had damage-negating abilities. And sure, most of them don't last 6 seconds. There's 4 tanks that do. But it's like, why did that get nerfed? But we also have 12 other characters in the game that essentially do the same thing. Reaper's ult, worthless. McCree's ult, worthless. Soldier's ult, worthless. More often than not, your most OP moves are negated by a standard R2 hold by another character. And that sucks. And I get that the converse of that is everybody's OP and then some things are broken. And I get that. But it's just like, I don't understand why I have to shoot through 3,000 HP of barriers before I can get to the 1,000 HP of tank. To me, it just delays the game. It just delays the game. It slows it down, and it's not as fun for me to play that way. And so I'm just not going to play that way. And I don't know at what point, yeah, because Serpent's right. I think barriers are okay if they weren't strong in so many. Yeah. Now there's a ton. Yeah, and Rachel, you said it. Vaxa said the same thing earlier. It's like the characters weren't made for this 2-2-2, and I think 2-2-2 just really showed. It just really showed that there are some serious problems with just damage negation and people just, there's too many characters who are tanks that aren't tanks. If there were only 2 barriers, honestly, if every game had a Reinhardt and Orisa, that'd be fine. I could live with that, but it's Reinhardt and Orisa, and then it's Brigitte, and then it's Mei, and then there's 2 other characters that just negate my damage. There's a Sombra who's hacking me, and there's a Lucio who's booping me, or there's a Junkrat who's trapping me, and it's just, I can't play. Because all I'm doing, I feel like I'm a Hun trying to cross the Great Wall of China. Like, that's the thing, you know, and it's tough. It's tough. So, I don't know. Yeah, and honestly, I don't think 2-2-2 is the problem. I had a ton of fun yesterday. If you take out the fact that I felt like I was shooting barriers, I had never had games where tanks and healers played well like they did yesterday. 2-2-2 fixed that problem. It just also created some more problems. But honestly, like I said, I opened this conversation, the very beginning of the game, I opened the stream today, I opened the conversation with 2-2-2 solves more problems than it created. But there are problems that it created, and those problems right now make the game kind of not fun for someone who has my play style, which is a more aggressive play style. That's how I play. Ask Brian how many times I run into the enemy in Apex Legends. Okay, that's how I play the game. It's just not for me right now. Because I think, Vaxis, I'm an outside case. I think Rachel is the perfect example of it solving the problem. I think more people, honestly, are having experience like Rachel than they are like me. I think the people who play as a team, I think their Overwatch is 1,000,000 times better than it used to be. Because maybe it's best said this way. If this is the middle of a scale, and over here is not fun, and over here is lots of fun, I think for Rachel, 2-2-2 moved it from like here to here, super fun. But for me, it moved it from like here to like here. So it's like I'm having my movement to not fun is less dramatic than her movement to fun. So it's a better change. And I think there are more people like her than there are people like me. I think the vast majority of people are going to enjoy this change more than they won't like it. And I think the change, what only thing the change did for me is make me realize that I'm not very good in this meta. And since I'm not very good, I don't like to play it. I think that's it. To me, it has, the only thing 222 has to do with it is that I can only play damage if I really want to have fun and make an impact. Where before, I could flex and I could heal because I knew that my damage, if I'm playing in a stack, could do something, you know? And that's not the way I'm doing it right now, and that's okay. Can we get it in a pie graph or Venn diagrams? I wish I had a pie. I would just eat it right now in front of you, and I'd take my shirt off, Morris.